Daniel Beaumont and welcome to Get Published TV. This is the only show on the internet to help you to write, publish and market your own best-selling book in around 8 minutes a day or less. Now in today's video we are going to talk about typesetting. And we're going to talk about why it's so important, and we're going to talk about some of the key decisions that you're going to have to make when it comes to this all-important process. But before that, what I want to do is talk to you about something exciting that happened to me just 2 days ago. I got a an oversized envelope in the mail, and so I kind of opened it up, and inside was this magazine. Now I'd never actually even seen or heard of this magazine before. It's called it's the official magazine for the gift and homeware industry. It is called Gift Wrap. And so I was kind of intrigued. I was like, why am I getting this magazine out of the blue? So I flicked through, and on page number 4 was a picture of my book, and it's actually being used by the editor. If you write a letter into the editor, then you can actually win one of the copies of my book. So that was kind of quite cool, because it's great to get media and publicity. It's even better to get publicity when you're not even expecting it. That just sort of comes out of the blue. So that's why I was kind of so excited. And then at the end of the magazine, there's actually this section right here, and it's got book reviews. And again, this is talking about the idea of writing a book. It gives you a lot of credibility, because I will probably scan this in and put it on my website, and when people look at this, they can see that there's a book here by Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill is the author of the book called Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the highest selling non-fiction books of all time, sold millions and millions of copies. That's that book right there. This book here is by Richard Branson, and I don't think he needs much of an introduction. And then right next to Richard Branson is my book. So that's kind of pretty cool. And again, what the message out of this is that if you are active consistently, then opportunities come up sometimes that you're not even expecting. And what's great is that you can leverage off this by scanning it in, photocopying it, giving it out to people, or putting it, of course, on your website like I mentioned. So enough about that. Let's now talk about the subject of typesetting. All right, now, first of all, I didn't really understand what typesetting was. This is how naive I was at 19 years of age when I wrote and published my first book. After I finished writing it and had it edited, someone said, well, you got to get it typeset. And I was like, what does typesetting mean? And I've since discovered that typesetting is actually taking your book and laying it out in an actual in book format, because normally when you're writing your book, you're going to write it in a program called Word or something very, very similar, which is a basic program where you're just writing text, and normally the pages are A4 pages. And what you then need to do is to take those words, once they've been edited, of course, and proofread, and you're happy with them, and then put it into preferably another program where you're actually going to do the typesetting. Now, what we would normally use is, these are some few examples. There are dozens of different programs that typesetters and graphic designers use for this type of stuff, but programs like maybe Quark Express, or another one that's very popular is InDesign. They're just a few different examples, but one of the biggest mistakes that first-time authors make is that they lay their book out in Word, and normally they either do it themselves, or they pay maybe a friend of theirs to do it or something like that. And if you lay your book out in Word, it just it doesn't really look professional, if I can be kind of brutally honest with people, because Word is a good program for writing letters. It's a good program for basic type of stuff, but if you actually want to have a book and make it look professional, then there are limitations to the design capabilities within Word. There's certain things that it just can't do because it wasn't built to actually lay out and design books. So what you really need to do is you need to get your book laid out and designed by someone who I would say would be a professional. And I recommend going with someone who typeset books for a living, not just a graphic designer, because there are some graphic designers out there that do business cards, brochures, letterheads, and you may go to them and say, can you design my book, can you lay it out for me? And they may say something like, yeah, okay, I guess I could probably do something like that. Now if they make a comment like that to you, you kind of know that they're not really a professional, meaning they don't do it all day every day. and therefore they're probably going to be slower. They're actually going to probably make more mistakes, and they may not be as up to date with the best use of fonts and the design and what's kind of hot and what's not. So I recommend always, if you can, it's not always possible, but try to go with a professional typesetter. Now, in a future episode, I'll talk about where to find professional typesetters, but in the meantime, you can just do Google searches, or you can talk to other friends or other published authors. But find someone that is a professional. That would be my biggest recommendation. Find a professional, and do not lay your book out in Word, okay? Because when someone gets your book, they just know that it isn't of a certain quality and standard which most books are designed in. So here's an example of a beautiful book that was just sent to me today by a friend of mine. And you can see the typesetting. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, but it's beautiful. The way that it's laid out, it's very attractive to the eye. There's a lot of good space. There's a good use of diagrams. You've got some great use of chapter titles there as well, and it's just a very clean professional book. So when I look at this, I immediately say, gee, this person is serious, they know what they're doing, and it makes a strong first impression. They say never judge a book by its cover, but we always do. We always judge books by their cover. We look at their cover and we feel it. We can see, if it's hard, if it's soft, if it's, flimsy paper. We always, we look at the design of the cover, but that's another topic. But we look at the paper that it's printed on, and then we flick through it, and we make a judgment decision. It's it's a real shame to say, because sometimes books are brilliant, but we look at them and say, does this book look professional? Is it something that I want to read? Because when someone reads your book, they're investing some time of their life. There's my buzzer going off there. They're investing time of their life to actually read it, and they want to make sure that time is going to be well spent. And if your book doesn't look of a certain standard, then they may just make a decision to say, you know what, I probably will just put that back on the shelf and won't take the time to read it, which is a real shame. So I'm almost running out of time. What I'm going to do is, in the next video, I'm going to talk about some of the fundamental decisions that you're going to have to make when it comes to the typesetting process. And so I'll list all those out tomorrow, and we'll go through them in a little bit of detail, and then we'll expand on them even more in future episodes of Get Published TV. But make sure you remember the main points of what we're spoken about. Typesetting is a key element to the professionalism of your book, and that will affect whether your book will be picked up by a publisher or a distributor or international publishers or even the media. So it's very important. Make sure you use a professional program. Do not lay your book out in Word. It's good to start in Word, but then you want to move out of Word once it's all finished and being edited and proofread. And the other message was, use a professional typesetter, one that does it for a living, because they're going to know exactly what's needed to make your book look fantastic. Alright, that wraps up this video. Please leave us your comments in the comments section below on getpublishedtv.com. We really want to get your input and perspective. If you've had a good experience, bad experience, whatever, let us know, because this is a great opportunity to share ideas and network with other authors, because we can all learn from each other as well, and I hope to learn from you. So please leave us your comments below. This is Dale Beaumont from Get Published TV. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.